So this is what the dress looks like on the baby doll. And here is the back, and you can see the buttons on the back. And it just has a nice flare to the dress. And then on the back you can see what it looks like on the back. And here is the second baby doll dress and what it looks like. And from behind you can see the buttons on the back and what the dress looks like from behind. And this is the same pattern, but it's a different type of yarn. And also I only did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ripples, and then I changed colors like a cream color and did 2 more ripple patterns. But the top portion is made the same way, but with just a different type of yarn. And here is what the dress looks like from behind. It flares out pretty at the bottom. And then here is the front and how it flares out at the bottom for the front. And this is what the dress looks like off of the baby doll, and you can see the nice flare to the bottom of the dress. And the same thing with the other type of yarn. You have a nice flare at the bottom of the dress, and when the dress is on the baby, it kind of ruffles, as you saw. And this is the same pattern, it's a different type of yarn. And then here is the other one with the nice pattern that used for the border and also for the arms of the dress. For this project you're going to need your E or 3.5, 4 to 3.5 millimeter crochet hook, as well as your G or 4 millimeter crochet hook, pair of scissors and tapestry needle, one for sewing, and then whatever buttons that you choose for your project. If you're going to use your tapestry needle and it fits through the buttonholes, then you'll need your yarn threader to help you get the yarn through the needle, or you can just use a regular sewing needle and some white thread. I used the yarn that I used is Bernat Softy Baby, and the color is soft lilac, and I used 5 skeins, and this is what's left of the 5th skein, and I'm going to use this to show you how to make the baby bonnet. But you can use any purple color that you want. On video it looks like a light blue, but it's actually a really pretty pastel or lavender purple. And for the beige looking color, I used Pound of Love Lion Brand yarns, and this color is actually an antique white color. Okay, first you're going to take the main color of your dress, the yarn for your dress, and we're going to do a slip knot. So you're just going to fold the loop over, the yarn over on itself to form a loop, and we're using our small hook, and this is the E size hook or 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. And once you put the crochet hook through the loop, you're going to take your middle finger and thumb and hold it at the base, and then take your crochet hook, yarn over and turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for a slip knot. And now you're going to make a chain of 70. So you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for 1 chain. And I'm just going to do a few with you. It's 2, 3, and you can see I'm moving my fingers up along the chain as I work. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can see how I'm forming a chain. Go ahead and finish this chain, and you're going to make a chain of 70 and then come back. So you should have finished your chain of 70. And now we're going to move up to the next row. So the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to place your middle finger and thumb on the last stitch that you did, and you're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet for the second row. Now you're going to do a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, which is the stitch you're holding with your middle finger and thumb. You're going to yarn over. You're going to go into that 4th chain from the hook. You're going to bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. Now you're going to do a double crochet into the next stitch, yarn over, go into the next stitch over, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. Now you're going to complete 1 double crochet into a total of 10 stitches. So this is our 4th double crochet. So I'm going to do 1 more with you, and then you're going to finish doing 1 double crochet into a total of 10 stitches, and then come back. After you've completed a total of 10 double crochet, we're going to do 5 double crochet into the next stitch, and that's going to count as your first corner. So you go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to do 5 double crochet into the same stitch. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you're going to do a double crochet into the next 12 stitches. So 1 double crochet into each of the next 12 stitches, and then come back. Okay, so after doing 1 double crochet into 12 stitches, now you're going to do 5 double crochet into the next stitch, and that's going to count as your second corner. 1, 2, 3, and last one. So I just did 5 double crochet into the next corner. Now you're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 22 stitches, and that's going to be the front of the dress. So 1 double crochet into the next 22 stitches, and then come back. Now you're going to do 5 double crochet into the next stitch, And you can see how that was your third corner. Now we're going to do the other arm side of the neck. You're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 12 stitches and then come back. So 1 double crochet into the next 12 stitches. Now we're going to do 5 double crochet into the next stitch, and that's going to be your last corner. And now you're just going to do 1 double crochet into the rest of your stitches and then come back. After you reach the end, your work should look like this. You have your 4 corners. And you just form a square for the neck of the dress. Now we're going to move up to the next row. So we're going to do a little bit of a design. So I'm going to do the design with a half double crochet. And the first thing you're going to do is just do a chain 2, 1, 2, and that counts as your first half double crochet. And then just turn your work. And now you're going to do you're going to skip a stitch. So here at the base of your first half double crochet, you see a little bit of an upslope. You're not going to go into that stitch. You're going to skip the next stitch over and work a half double crochet into that second stitch, because we're going to do a half double crochet cross stitch. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to skip a stitch, and then you're going to work a half double crochet into that second stitch. So you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. Then you're going to yarn over and you're going to take your hook and go into that skipped stitch. So you can see how I went in there. The first thing I did was yarn over, and then I'm going in between the 2 half double crochets and then coming from the back into that skipped stitch. And then I'm going to bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. And then you just finished a half double crochet cross stitch. So I'm going to do several of these with you so you get the hang of it. So I'm going to do a half double crochet, but I'm going to skip a stitch and work the half double crochet into the second stitch. I'm going to yarn over, go between the 2 half double crochets, go from behind under that skipped stitch, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through all 3 for a half double crochet. Grab. Do that one again. With the smaller loop, you have to be careful you don't grab the yarn. Smaller hook, I mean. There we go. So I'm going to go in between, under, and then you have a cross half double crochet. So I'm going to do another one, skip a stitch, And it just forms a cute little cross stitch design. So I'm going to do 2 more with you so you can get the hang of how to do it. So yarn over, skip a stitch, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over, go between the 2 half double crochets from behind that skipped stitch, okay, I'm going to do 1 more with you. So yarn over, skip a stitch, go into the next stitch. Actually, I'm going to work these all the way to the corner with you. So I'm going to go between the 2 half double crochets, go behind the skipped stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through all 3 for half double crochet. Okay, so now I have this really pretty design from the half double crochet cross stitch. This is going to be on the outside. Now when I've reached the corner and into the 3rd double crochet, which is the next stitch over after I finished my half double crochets, you're going to do 5 half double crochets. So into the 3rd double crochet of the previous row, you're going to do 5 half double crochets. So it lined up perfectly with my half double crochet cross stitches to where I landed on the next stitch. I'm going to do 5 half double crochets into that corner. Now you're going to do your half double crochet cross stitches. So you're going to go ahead and do that all the way around back to the end. So go all the way around to the end, doing 5 half double crochets into every corner, and then a half double crochet cross stitch along every side, and then come back and I'll show you how to move up to the next row. Okay, so I finished my last half double crochet cross stitch, and I'm going to move up to the next row. So the first thing you're going to do is you're just going to chain 3. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to turn your work. Now we're going to do a double crochet cross stitch. So it's the same thing here. You're not going to go into the base of that first chain 3 that you did. You're going to skip the next stitch over. So you're going to yarn over, skip the next stitch, and go into the next stitch. You're going to bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2, and then you're going to yarn over. You're going to go between the 2 double crochets behind that skipped stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And you're going to do the double crochet cross stitch all the way over to the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this first side with you. And I'm just going to check my corner. So you're going to do on the corner, you want to look at the previous row's half double crochet because you're going to go into the third stitch. So I have 4 stitches left, so I can do 2 more cross stitches. Okay, and then you're exactly on that third half double crochet from the previous row, and you're going to do 5 double crochets into that stitch. So 5 double crochets into that corner. Okay, and then you can see the beautiful pattern that it's creating. And then you're going to finish doing that, the double crochet cross stitches along every side, and then 5 double crochets into every corner, and then come back and I'll show you how to move up to the next row. I have 3 stitches left on this side, so I'm going to go ahead and do a cross stitch, double crochet cross stitch, and then I'm going to do just a double crochet into that last stitch. So I just want to show you how it looks so far. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cross stitches. And then on this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then in the front I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And on this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then on the back side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's how mine looks so far. Now I'm going to move up to the next row. Get all tangled. Okay, so for the next row, you're going to go ahead and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet. Now, I'm going to show you this fun stitch. I'm going to show you with my tapestry needle. So what you're going to do is here are each of the stitches. Here you can see there's a little upslope at the base of your first chain 3. You're not going to go into that stitch. You're going to be working into the next stitch over. Now on the next stitch, you can see here is the center of the stitch. Let me see if I can get a better close-up of that. Okay, so here is the center of the stitch. Now on this side you have the back loop of the stitch, and then here you have the front loop of the stitch. So you're going to be doing a double crochet into that back loop, and then in the next stitch over you're going to be doing a double crochet in the front loop. And then you're just going to alternate double crochets in the back loop, front loop, back loop, front loop. So I'm going to do this whole side with you so you can see how it's done. So the first thing you're going to do is just yarn over, and then you're going to go right into the center of the next stitch, and you're going to grab that back loop with your hook and just go through the back loop only. Then you're going to bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to yarn over, and then you're going to go right into the front loop only and come right through the center of the next stitch, grabbing that front loop only. Then you're going to bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. So you're alternating double crochet in the back loop and then double crochet in the front loop, and we're going to do that all the way across. So right down the center, grab that back loop, yarn over, you're going to grab that front loop, go right up through the center, front loop only, and I'm just alternating double crochets in the back loop and then in the front loop. I'm going to do that all the way to the corner. Then we're almost to the corner, and the corner is the 3rd stitch from the previous row. So you can just kind of look at your previous row and you can kind of separate the stitch. And this is 1, and then this is 2, and then this is the 3rd one. So we're going to do, let's see if I have that right, 1, 2, yeah, that one's the 3rd one. So in the 3rd stitch is the one that you're going to be doing the 5 double crochet. So you go into both loops of that 3rd stitch, grab both loops, yarn over, bring up a loop, and then you're going to do 5 double crochet into that stitch on the corner. So you can see how I did the whole side, and this is what it's going to look like on the front. It's really pretty. So you're going to go ahead and finish doing double crochet alternating front loop, back loop all the way around to the other side, and in each corner you're going to be doing 5 double crochet into each corner and then come back. Okay, so I've reached the end, and you can see how your work looks. And now what you're going to do is you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to turn your work, And now we're going to do an interesting stitch that I think looks really pretty. What you're going to do is you're going to skip a stitch, and then you're going to do 2 double crochet into the second stitch. So skip a stitch and do 2 double crochet into that second stitch. And then now you're going to yarn over. You're going to go between the 2 double crochet above the skipped stitch. You're going to come from behind into that skipped stitch. You're going to bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to do 1 more double crochet into that same skipped stitch. So go into that same skipped stitch and do another double crochet. So there's a total of 4 double crochet in this cross stitch. And it just looks really pretty, almost like a popcorn stitch on the outside. And then what you're going to do into the next stitch over in the previous row, that double crochet in the previous row, you're going to do a front post double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, and you're going to go into the previous row. So right before the next stitch, let me just show you. So here is the next stitch, right? See if I can get that over. There we go. So here is the next stitch over. It's a double crochet on the previous row. So you went in with your crochet hook, and you're going to go behind that stitch. So you can see how I went behind that stitch, that next stitch on the previous row. You're going to bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. So I just did a front post double crochet. And I'm going to work these all the way across here with you to the corner so you can see how I do it. So now I'm going to yarn over, skip a stitch, go into the next stitch. I'm going to do a double crochet. I'm going to do 2 double crochets into that stitch. Then I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to go into that skipped stitch from behind and do a double crochet. And I'm actually going to do 2 double crochet into that skipped stitch. Then I'm going to do a front post double crochet around the next stitch. And then just going to keep repeating that pattern all the way to the corner. Now what you're going to do is you're just going to work all the way around the corner. You're just going to keep repeating the same pattern all the way around this corner. And then you're just going to keep working the pattern all the way around back to the other side. So go ahead and keep working this pattern, repeating this pattern all the way around. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. And you can see how pretty it looks on the other side. It just forms a nice popcorn-like stitch on the front of the dress. Now I just finished one of my 2 double crochet cross stitches, and I have 2 stitches left on this side. So what I'm going to do is yarn over and do the front post double crochet around the next stitch, and then I'm going to do a double crochet into that last stitch. And so this is the wrong side, and then you can see the right side, and you can see the beautiful stitch it creates. And then this is going to be the front of the dress. So this is how your work looks with just the lavender for the double crochet cross that we did. But I'm going to show you an alternative with it showing a different color. So I'm going to show you how to change colors. And here is the exact same. You would work exactly the same pattern as you did for this one. But now I'm going to show you how to change colors and create a beautiful border with a different color, with the cream color. So what you're going to do, let's see, let me just move this out of the way. Okay, so here I'm using Caron Simply Soft, and this is off-white, and it looks like a really pretty beige or cream color. All right, so now we're going to I'm going to show you how to change colors in case you want to do the beige color. Go ahead and add your new color that you're making, or using, I should say. Go ahead and hook it and bring it through that loop, and then yarn over and turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for a chain 1. And then you're going to take and cut the previous color that you're using and leave enough to bury the loose yarn ends into your work. And then tie a knot. Now you're going to take and chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and that's going to count as your first double crochet. Now you're going to also try and bury your loose yarn ends. Actually, I'm just going to bury these loose yarn ends later, so I'm just going to leave those to the side. And you're going to work it the same way that you did with the purple color. You're going to yarn over, you're going to skip a stitch, go into the second stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're going to yarn over, go into the same stitch, and do another double crochet. And then you're going to yarn over and you're going to go in between the 2 double crochet and under that skipped stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. Then you're going to yarn over, go into the same stitch and do another double crochet. Now you're going to do a front post double crochet. So you're going to go into the previous row just like you did for the purple color. You're going to yarn over, go in between the 2 double crochet on the previous row and go behind the double crochet with your crochet hook. Yarn over and bring the yarn, bring up a loop. Oop, I'm hooking the double crochet's yarn. 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. So then I just did a front post double crochet. Make sure I got the right stitch. Okay, now you want to make sure that these are small stitches, so make sure you get the stitch closest to that front post double crochet. You want to skip that one. Let me just show you with my tapestry needle. So here you can see the stitch right here. You want to skip that stitch and work into the next stitch over. So I'm going to yarn over and do a double crochet into that second stitch. Do one more. So 2 double crochets in the same stitch. And I'm going to yarn over and go in between the front post double crochet and the double crochet under the skipped stitch. I'm going to bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And then yarn over, go under the same skipped stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. So I just finished my next one. Now I'm going to do a front post double crochet on the next stitch on the previous row. So I'm going to yarn over, go behind that stitch, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. So that's the stitch that you're going to do all the way around, just like you did with the purple. And you can see how it creates this beautiful pattern. And then here again is with the purple. So it's just a different style that you can do for your dress. So go ahead and complete that and then come back and I'll show you how to move up to the next row. You can see how beautiful it looks with a little bit of a change in color. So now, whether you did purple or you changed your color, we're going to do a chain 3, but first I'm going to change my color back to the purple. So I'm going to take my purple color and you're going to change colors the same way. You're just going to hook it and bring it through and then do a chain 1. And then you're going to take and cut your previous color. Leave enough yarn for your loose yarn ends to sew into your work so it doesn't come loose. And then you're just going to tie a knot. Now you're going to go ahead and do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet, and then you're going to turn your work. And at the same time, you're going to be burying your loose yarn ends, so you can pull your loose yarn ends to the side so you can bury them as you work. And then you're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch over, and you're going to go behind the loose yarn ends, bring up a loop, yarn over and go through 2 loops, and then yarn over and go through 2 for another double crochet. And you're just going to do a double crochet into every stitch all the way around. And when you get to the front post double crochet, you're also going to do a front post double crochet. So you yarn over, go around the front post that you did on the previous row, just like this. You're going to bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2. And then you're just going to continue doing a double crochet into every stitch and going around your loose yarn ends. Make sure they're buried nicely. So go ahead and keep doing double crochets into every stitch, and then when you reach your front post double crochets, go ahead and go around those front post double crochets to do another front post double crochet. And then come back when you reach the corner. So this is how your work looks so far, and you should have finished doing your front post double crochets and your double crochets across to the end. And now I have 1 front post double crochet left, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little designs here. So I'm going to do a front post double crochet, and then you're just going to go ahead and fold to make the armhole. And then count out how many you want for the armhole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm going to go ahead, yeah, I'll do 9. Just check on both sides, make sure that they'll be even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to do 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So after 9, I'm just going to do a front post double crochet, and that will link the 2 sides together and form an armhole. So here you can see how I formed an armhole on that side. And then you're going to continue doing a double crochet into every stitch with the front post double crochet when you reach the front post double crochets. So here you can see how I'm doing a double crochet into every stitch until I reach the front post double crochet. And then I'm just going to do my front post double crochet, and then go ahead and continue working all the way across to the end and then come back and I'll show you how to do the other side's armhole. Alright, so you can see how I finished doing my double crochets and front post double crochets all along the front of the dress. Now I'm on the side and I want to make the armhole, and the other armhole had 9 of the beautiful, and I'm just going to call them the cross double crochets across the armhole. So I'm going to count out 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's what I want for the armhole. Now here on the side of the armhole I have one front post double crochet left to do, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to yarn over, go around that front post double crochet, and then I'm going to fold the work. Make sure it's not twisted or turned. Make sure you have the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then I'm going to work around that front post double crochet after the 9th double crochet cross stitch. And that's going to form the armhole. And then I can continue doing a double crochet into every stitch. And doing the front post double crochet all the way to the end. So go ahead and finish doing your stitches all the way to the end and then come back. Here's how your dress looks so far. And now I'm going to show you how to cinch the dress portion of it to make sure that it comes out with a dress that forms like a triangle shape. So I finished with 110 stitches, and if you have a little bit more or less, it's okay. I'm going to show you how we're going to decrease to the same number of stitches. So the first thing you're going to do is chain 1 and then turn your work. And if we're off by a few stitches, that's fine. It's not going to make a difference. So what we're going to do first is you're going to go into the next stitch over and do a single crochet. So you're going to bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. And you're going to do a single crochet into the next 3 for a total of 3, which I have now, and then you're going to do a decrease stitch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, then go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through all 3 for a decrease. And then you're going to go into the next stitch, you're going to do a single crochet, and you're going to do another single crochet into a total of 3 stitches, and then you're going to do a decrease stitch. So you're going to do that all the way to the end. So you're going to do 1 single crochet into 3 stitches, and then you're going to do a decrease stitch, and you're going to do that all the way to the other side. And what I'm going to have you do is when you get to the armhole, come back and I'll just show you how I cross the armhole. Okay, so I just did a single crochet in 3, and now I'm reaching the armhole. I'm going to work it the same way. I'm just going to do a decrease stitch, and then a single crochet into the next 3, and then a decrease stitch. So go ahead and finish doing this pattern all the way around back to the other side. Okay, so I just finished, and now I just wanted to show you how it looks before we start doing the pattern of the dress, the actual skirt. But I ended with about 88 single crochets or stitches around, because we're going to start working in rounds now for the skirt. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your, I just finished my last stitch. Now you're going to line it up with the other side of the dress, and just make sure that you don't twist the dress. You want it to be even. And then you take the top stitch of the other side, and then you're going to do a slip stitch. So you yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch. And now you can continue if you want with your E crochet hook. It may come out with a different look. I'm going to switch crochet hooks now. And I'm going with a bigger crochet hook, and this is a G crochet hook or 4mm crochet hook. And I'm going to go ahead and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So you yarn over, go into the next stitch, and this initial one will be a little bit difficult only because there are smaller stitches. You were using a smaller hook. So you just bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 2, then yarn over and go into the next stitch and do a double crochet. Now in this next stitch you're going to do 3 double crochets into the same stitch. So just finish doing 3 double crochets into the same stitch. Now you're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And then you're going to skip a stitch. So you're going to yarn over, skip a stitch, go into that second stitch and work a double crochet. And then you're going to do a double crochet into a total of 3 stitches. And then you're going to repeat the pattern. So the pattern is we did 1 double crochet into 3 stitches. Now we're going to do 3 double crochets into the next stitch. And then you're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And then you're going to skip a stitch. And you're going to do a double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And then you're just going to keep repeating that pattern. So the next stitch will have 3 double crochets. Then you're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, skip a stitch, and then 1 double crochet into 3 stitches, and just keep repeating that pattern all the way around back to the beginning. Okay, so now on mine, I finished. I did 3 double crochets in 1 stitch and then 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So I'm going to skip this next stitch and then do a slip stitch into the top stitch of the first double crochet that I did. And then I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I just want to show you how the front looks so far. Now you're going to go ahead and do a double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And then you're going to do 3 double crochets into the next stitch. And then you're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And now you're going to stitch together 2 double crochets. So you're going to do a double crochet decrease. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2 only. You have 2 loops left on your hook, yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop. Now you have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, and then yarn over and go through 3. So you did a double crochet decrease, or you stitched 2 double crochets together. Now you're going to do a double crochet into the next 3 stitches, and you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around back to the beginning. So I'm just going to do one more set with you. Now in the next stitch I'm going to do 3 double crochets in the same stitch. And then I'm going to do 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And then I'm going to stitch 2 double crochets together. So I'm going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 3, and you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the beginning. Alright, so I just finished doing 3 double crochet in the same stitch. Now I'm going to do 1 double crochet into the last 2 stitches that I have. And then I'm going to do a slip stitch into the top stitch of the first double crochet. And I'm going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to repeat the pattern the same way that you did for that first row where you skipped a stitch. So you did 1 double crochet into 3 stitches, then 3 double crochet into the same stitch, then 1 double crochet into 3 stitches, and then skipped a stitch and repeated the pattern. You're going to repeat that row here, and then on the next row you're going to repeat the pattern where you did 3 double crochet in 1 stitch and then 2 double crochet together. And you're going to keep alternating these rows as you work your dress to form this beautiful ripple pattern at the bottom of the dress. You're going to want to complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows. And you are alternating between the skipped stitch and then combining the 2 stitches together. So you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So you're going to end with the row where you combined 2 of the double crochet stitches together. After you finish your 10 rows, we're going to change colors again back to whatever color you're using for the design along the front of your dress. And in my case, I was using this off-white color. So you just take and hook the yarn, and bring it through the loop and do a chain 1, And then you're going to turn your work over and cut your previous yarn that you were using. And then you're going to tie a knot. Now you're going to want to make sure that your right side is facing away from you, and you're going to work with the wrong side facing you. And at the same time, actually I'm going to leave the loose yarn ends on the inside because I'm going to bury those later. And the first stitch you're going to do a chain 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to skip the next stitch, and then you're going to work 2 double crochets into the second stitch. So you're going to yarn over and then work 2 double crochets into the second stitch. And then you're going to yarn over, going to go between the 2 double crochets and under that skipped stitch. And you're going to bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. You're going to yarn over and do another double crochet in that skipped stitch. Then you're going to go and do a front post double crochet around the next stitch. And I'm just going to do a few more with you. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to skip a stitch and work a double crochet into the second stitch. I'm going to do 2 double crochet in the same stitch. And then I'm going to go and do a double crochet into the skipped stitch. And then I'm going to do a front post double crochet around the next stitch. And you can see on the other side you're making that beautiful border along the bottom of the dress. And when you go ahead and repeat this pattern all the way around until you get back to the beginning, and then come back. After you're back to the beginning, and with me I ended with the front post double crochet, I'm going to do a slip stitch into the top stitch of that first chain 3 or first double crochet that we did. Let's see if I can get into that top stitch. So into that top stitch, then you're going to yarn over and bring the yarn through both loops on your hook for a slip stitch, and then you're going to finish off. You're going to yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. And this is how your work looks so far. You have a nice flowing skirt. And now we're going to do the buttonholes on the back. Okay, so now I have the back part of the dress facing me, and it's the right side. The wrong side is on the inside. And I'm going to take my crochet hook, and on the right side of the back of the dress, I'm going to join with that top stitch the same colored yarn as the dress. And then you're going to do a chain 1, and then you're just going to tie a knot. And then we're going to bury those loose yarn ends as we work. And you're just going to do a single crochet along this side of the back of the dress. Just one single crochet along the side. And you don't have stitches to go into because it's kind of a jagged side row of your rows that you did for the back of the dress. So you're just going to be doing a single crochet, and you may do 2 single crochets along the side of a double crochet. And then you just work a single crochet into the next stitch, and you just put your crochet hook into the sides and just do a single crochet and bury these loose yarn ends as you work. And when you've buried the loose yarn ends as much as you like, you can go ahead and cut them to get them out of the way. And then you just keep doing your single crochets, and here I have another side double crochet. Then I'm going to do 2 single crochets in that space. And I have another side double crochet of the off-white color. I'm going to do 2 single crochets in that space. And I'm just going to keep doing 2 single crochets along the sides of the double crochets. And you're going to be turning to go up around the other side. So I'm just going to be doing single crochet along that turn. And for mine, I'm doing 3 single crochet at the bottom of that turn. And then I'm just going to do the same thing along the other side up to the top, just doing single crochet, and each side double crochet. I'll do 2 single crochet in the same space. And now I have another loose yarn end that I'm just going to bury as I work. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that loose yarn end now. And I have a few more stitches until I get to the top. And then once I've reached this top of the other side of the dress, I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to turn the dress. And now I'm going to make a buttonhole. So I'm going to do a chain 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going to skip 2 spaces and then work into that 3rd stitch. I'm going to do a single crochet into that 3rd stitch, and then I have my first buttonhole. And then I'm going to look and see where I want to do my second buttonhole, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 more single crochets, and then chain 2 and skip these 2 spaces and do 2 more to reach the bottom turn. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. Then I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2 for the second buttonhole. Then I'm going to skip 2 stitches and then work a single crochet into that 3rd stitch, And then I'm going to do one more single crochet, and then I have the bottom turn to go up the other side. I'm not going to go up the other side. I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to turn my work. And now I'm going to go back up the side where I have the holes for the buttons. I'm going to go into the next stitch and do a single crochet. And then in the buttonhole where I did the chain 2, I'm going to go into that chain 2 space and do 2 single crochet. And that's just to strengthen that buttonhole. And then into the next stitch, I'm going to do 1 single crochet. I'm going to do 1 single crochet all the way back to the first buttonhole. And then in that chain 2 space, I'm going to do 2 more single crochet. So I'm going to go into that chain 2 space and do 2 single crochet. And then I'm going to go into the very top stitch and I'm going to do another single crochet. And then I'm going to finish off. I'm going to yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury my loose yarn in. And now I have the 2 buttonholes, and I can sew my buttons on to the other side. But first, we're going to bury all of our loose yarn ends. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Just turn your work inside out, and then take your loose yarn ends, and you're going to take your tapestry needle and just put the loose yarn end onto your tapestry needle, and you're going to take and just weave your tapestry needle through the inside of your work, the wrong side. And then just cut that loose yarn end. And that's how you bury your loose yarn ends. Go ahead and bury all of your loose yarn ends and then come back and we'll sew the buttons on. So now I'm going to sew my buttons in place onto the dress, and you can see how these buttons match really well. It's like it's a light purple color. And I'm going to use my tapestry needle, very small tapestry needle. I'm going to show you how I thread it with yarn, and because it fits right through the buttonhole. But you can use a regular sewing needle and thread if you don't want to use your tapestry needle and yarn. And these buttons are from Favorite Findings. They have all kinds of different pretty colors, and I'm using the purple color. The first thing you're going to do is just take your hook and put it through the eye of the needle so we can thread the yarn through the tapestry needle. And you just take the color yarn. I'm using my purple color, the same color as the dress. And I'm just going to hook it and bring it through the eye of the tapestry needle. And then to get the yarn through, I kind of jiggle the hook up and down. And then that easily brings the yarn through my tapestry needle. Then you're going to place your first button and make sure that it lines up with your buttonhole on the other side. And then you're just going to take your tapestry needle and come up from the wrong side. And make sure you leave enough yarn on the other side to tie your knot. And then you just go through with your tapestry needle. And you can sew your button in place. And I like to use the yarn because it's so thick and it really holds the button in place. I'm going to go ahead and tie my knot on the wrong side. And then I'm going to make one more. I'm going to sew one more loop around on the button. And for me, 2 should do it. Holds it on nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and tie another knot. And then I'm going to bury my loose yarn ends. And you can go ahead and sew your other button on. Let me go ahead and cut. I'm going to cut enough length on the loose yarn end so I can bury them. And I'm going to bury them with my other tapestry needle because it's just easier. Then you just take your other button and you line it up the same way with your other buttonhole, and then you sew it on with your tapestry needle. And then come back when you're done and we'll see our finished product. So this is what the dress looks like on the baby doll. And here is the back, and you can see the buttons on the back. And it just has a nice flare to the dress. And then on the back you can see what it looks like on the back. And here is the second baby doll dress and what it looks like. And from behind you can see the buttons on the back and what the dress looks like from behind. And this is the same pattern, but it's a different type of yarn. And also I only did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ripples, and then I changed colors like a cream color and did 2 more ripple patterns. But the top portion is made the same way, but with just a different type of yarn. And here is what the dress looks like from behind. It flares out pretty at the bottom. And then here is the front and how it flares out at the bottom for the front. And this is what the dress looks like off of the baby doll, and you can see the nice flare to the bottom of the dress. And the same thing with the other type of yarn. You have a nice flare at the bottom of the dress, and when the dress is on the baby it kind of ruffles, as you saw. And this is the same pattern, it's a different type of yarn. And then here is the other one with the nice pattern that used for the border and also for the arms of the dress.